Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari,
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, can you share the sloka screen? Hare Krishna, everyone. Now, Minister Prabhu is a little busy. He told me to continue class today. So, 3:16:3, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So 3:16:3, Prabhu. 3:16. 16th chapter.
Mataji, sloka number
3.
3.
Yes, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So third canto, 16th chapter, sloka number 3. We can zoom it a little. Okay. Yastva etayor brito tando. Prabhu, can you repeat the sloka? Yastva etayor brito tando. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Okay. Bhavad Birmam Anuvratahe. Saevanumato Asmabhir.
Saevanumato Asmabhir.
Munayo Deva Helanath.
Munayo Deva Helanath.
Yastva etayo drito dando.
Yastva etayo dando.
Bhavad Birmam Anuvratahe.
Bhavad Birmam Anuvrate.
Saevanumato Asmabhir.
Saevanumato Asmabhir.
Munayo Deva Helanath.
Munayo Deva Helanath.
Yastva etayo drito dando.
Yastva etayo dando.
Bhavad Birmam Anuvratahe.
Bhavad Birmam Anuvrate.
Saevanumato Asmabhir.
Saivanumato Asmabir
Munayo Devahelanat.
Munayo Devahelanat.
So can someone chant?
Sa evanumato asmabir Saivanumato Asmabir Munayo Devahelanat Munayo Devahelanat.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yastva etayo dritadando. Mother, screen is not to be seen. Something is there in between the screen, Mataji.
Yeah, now it's clear, right?
Yes, Mataji. Again, it is gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yastva etayo dritadando bhavabhir mam anuvratahe sa evanumato asmabhir munayo devahelanat. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Sandeep Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Yasteva etayor drishto dando bhavadbhir mam anuvrate sa evanu mato asmabhir manayo deva helana.
Thank you. Okay, see the synonyms. Who can you scroll down? Yes. Yeah, which,
Yeah, which,
to, but,
but,
edayoho, regarding both Jaya and Vijaya.
Etayo, regarding both Jaya and Vijaya.
Dridaha has been given.
Dritaha has been given.
Dandaha, punishment.
Danda, punishment.
Bhavadbihi, by you.
Bhavati, by you.
Mam, may.
Mam, may.
Anuvratehi, devoted to.
Anuvrate, devoted to.
Saha, that.
Saha, that.
Eva, certainly.
Eva, certainly.
Anumataha is approved.
Anumata is approved.
Asmabihi, by me.
Asmabi, by me.
Munayaha, O great sages.
Munaya, O great sages.
Deva, against you.
Deva, against you.
Helana, because of an offense.
Helana, because of an offense.
Translation. O great sages, I approve of the punishment that you are devoted to me, have meted you out to them. O great sages,
O great sages,
I approve of the punishment
I approve of the punishment
that you are devoted to me,
that you are devoted to me,
have meted out of them.
have meted out of them.
Prabhu, can we do the next sloka also? 3:16:4. Tadva prasadya mi adya
Tattva prasadya
Brahma Devam Param Hime
Brahma Daivam Param Hime
Tadditi Atmakritam Manye
Tadditi Atmakritam Manye
Yatsva Pumbir Asatkritaha.
Yadsva Pumbir Asatkrita.
Synonyms. That therefore, Vahaha, you sages,
You sages,
Prasadayami, I am seeking your forgiveness.
Prasadayami, I am seeking your forgiveness.
Adya, just now.
Adya, just now.
Brahma, the Brahmanas.
Brahma, the Brahmanas.
Deva, most beloved personalities.
Daiva, most beloved personalities.
Param, highest.
Param, highest.
He, because.
He, because.
Me, my.
My.
Tad, that offense.
That offense.
He, because.
He, because.
Iti, thus.
Iti, thus.
Atmakritam, done by me.
Atmakritam, done by me.
Manye, I consider.
I consider.
Yet which.
That which.
Swapumbihi, by my own attendance.
By my own attendance.
Asatkritaha, having been disrespected.
Asatkritaha, having been disrespected.
Translation. To me, the Brahmana is the highest and most beloved personality. The disrespect shown by my attendants has actually been displayed by me because the doormen are my servitors. I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek your forgiveness for the incident that has arisen. To me, the Brahmana is the highest and most beloved personality.
Highest and most beloved personality.
The disrespect shown by my attendants has actually been displayed by me because the doormen are my servitors. I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek your forgiveness for the incident that has arisen. Hare Krishna, Supreme Mataji, you like to read the purport?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord is always in favor of Brahmanas and the cows, and therefore it is said, Go Brahmana Ithayacha. Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna or Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also the worshipable deity of the Brahmanas. In the Vedic literature, in the Rig Mantra, hymns of Rig Veda, it is stated that those who are actually Brahmanas always look to the lotus feet of Vishnu. Om Tad Vishnu Param Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. Those who are qualified Brahmanas worship only the Vishnu form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means Krishna, Rama, and all Vishnu expansions. A so-called Brahmana who is born in the family of Brahmanas but performs activities aimed against the Vaishnavas cannot be accepted as a Brahmana, because Brahmana means Vaishnava and Vaishnava means Brahmana. One who has become a devotee of the Lord is also a Brahmana. The formula is Brahma Janatiti Brahmanaha. A Brahmana is one who has understood Brahman, and a Vaishnava is one who has understood the personality of Godhead. Brahman realization is the beginning of the realization of the personality of Godhead. One who understands the personality of Godhead also knows the impersonal feature of the Supreme, which is Brahman. Therefore, one who has become a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. It should be noted that the glories of a Brahmana described in this chapter by the Lord himself refer to his devotee Brahmana or the Vaishnava. It should never be misunderstood that the so-called Brahmanas who are born in the Brahmana families but have no Brahmanical qualifications are referred to in this connection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, just one more sloka. In this connection, there's one more sloka. The next one. This is continuation. 3:16:5. Yannamani cha grahnati.
Yannamani cha grahnati.
Logo pritye kridagasi.
Loko pritye kritagasi.
So asadu vadastat kirtim.
So asadu vadastat kirtim.
Hanti tvacham ivamayaha.
Hanti tvacham ivamayaha.
Synonyms. Yet, of whom. Namani, the names.
Namani, the names.
Cha, and. Grahnati, take.
Grahnati, take.
Lokaha, people in general.
Loka, people in general.
Britye, when a servant.
Britye, when a servant.
Krita Agasi, has committed something wrong.
Krita Agasi, has committed something wrong.
Saha, that.
That.
Asadu Vadaha, blame.
Asadu Vadaha, blame.
Of that person. Kirtim, the reputation.
Kirtim, the reputation.
Hanti, destroys.
Hanti, destroys.
Vacham, the skin.
Vacham, the skin.
Iva, as.
Iva, as.
Amayaha, leprosy.
Amayaha, leprosy.
Translation. A wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master. Just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin. A wrong act committed by a servant.
A wrong act committed by a servant
leads people in general. To blame his master. Just as a spot of white leprosy. On any part of the body.
body
pollutes all of the skin.
all of the skin.
Yes, Neeraja Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, purport by His divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. A Vaishnava, therefore, should be fully qualified. As stated in the Bhagavatam, anyone who has become a Vaishnava has developed all the good qualities of the demigods. There are 26 qualifications mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. A devotee should always see that his Vaishnava qualities increase with the advancement of his Krishna consciousness. A devotee should be blameless because any offense by the devotee is a scar on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotee's duty is to be always conscious in his dealings with others, especially with another devotee of the Lord. Mataji, it is still there?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna
yes,
Mataji.
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavali Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Lange Vikre Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dina Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhudale Shrimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Well, my voice is clear, right? Is it okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, so here, so the 16th chapter is, we are in the third canto, 16th chapter. So where the four Kumaras, the sons of Brahma, goes to Vaikuntha to meet the Lord, and then they pass the 6 gates, and in the 7th gate, the doorkeepers Jaya and Vijaya stops them, and the 4 Kumaras, they are the Manasa Putras of Lord Brahma, even though they look very young, 4 to 5 years old, naked boys, but they are very austere and very sincere devotees and senior devotees, and they are so powerful that they are trying to curse Jaya and Vijay, and you know how the pastimes happened after that. But then Lord himself came out to give darshan to the 4 Kumaras, and the 4 Kumaras were so happy seeing the Lord. Till then they were Brahmavadis. Just by smelling the tulsi offered to the lotus feet of Vishnu, they became devotees. And now what happened? The Lord know. Yesterday Namanishta Prabhu was saying how Lord only made Jaya Vijayas to stop the 4 Kumaras. The Lord only made the 4 Kumaras curse Jaya Vijaya because for the pastimes. So now we spoke about Vaishnava Aparat in the last sloka, and here it is said about the difference between Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. What are the differences? And then the Lord himself comes and asks for forgiveness. This is the quality we should learn from the Lord. The Lord didn't have to beg for forgiveness to the 4 Kumaras. He didn't do anything. It's actually the Jaya Vijayas who offended him. But since the servants of the Lord are also part and parcel of him, like the boss take the blame of the for the employees. Like I remember when we do an internship or when we go do something wrong in our study period, study time, it's actually the leader or our professor who takes the blame. Or when we get trained under someone, we become juniors, whatever mistakes we do, the senior has to take it up, because we can't take the blame just like that. They are giving us an opportunity to do service, and if something goes wrong from our side, it reflects on the boss. Similarly, when Jaya Vijaya offended the 4 Kumaras, the Lord himself came and asked for forgiveness. So here it is said, Go Brahmana Hitaya. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Nama. Right? Namo Brahmanya Devaya. So the Lord is worshipped by the Brahmanas, and Prabhupada mentions here, Chaturvanya Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Bhagavad Gita says it's not just by birth you become Brahmana, it's Guna and Karma, right? Your qualities, what are the qualities you have, or your karma. Brahma janadi idi brahmana. So those who know Brahman. So the three stages, Brahmedi, Paramatmedi, Bhagavanedi, Shaktidi, right? So the Brahmanas, they know the Brahman aspect. But a Vaishnava, he knows the Bhagavan concept. So that means, when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was very young, he was a very great scholar. And those days, the Thakur used to fight against this caste Brahmanism. It was so much there that nobody was given a Brahmanic thread except those who are born in the Brahmana family. And when Srila Prabhupada went to Jagannath Puri, especially, he saw them, the Brahmanas, they all had this thread and everything, but still they were into smoking and eating non-veg and all that. And Prabhupada is like, what is the culture? Where is the culture going? Just because you have a thread, just because you're born in the family, doesn't make you like that. Like a high court judge will have a daughter or son, and just because he or she is his son or daughter, it doesn't mean he or she becomes a high court judge. She has to undergo the training, the process, right? So similarly, just by birth, we don't become like that. And that caste Brahmanism was so much there during Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami's time. And that time, he was just very young, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to send him for a debate. So he went, there were Brahmanas and Vaishnavas sitting, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati started praising the Brahmanas. Definitely, they have to be given respect because they are Shuchinam Shrimadam Gehe. They are born in a Brahmin family because they have done so many pious activities in their previous Janma. It's not easy to be born in a Brahmin family, but you should not misuse that free will, or you should not think that, oh, because I'm born in that family, I didn't have to do devotional service. No, Krishna is giving you an opportunity to be born in such a nice family, aristocratic family, so that you continue from where you stop your devotional service. But that culture is gone now. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati started praising the Brahmanas, and they were so happy. But then he twisted it. He started praising the Vaishnavas more than a Brahmana. And Prabhupada says Vaishnava definitely is a Brahmana and a Brahmana is a Vaishnava based on guna and karma. Right? That's very important. That's why following the four regulative principles are very important to advance in Krishna consciousness. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati saw that all his disciples, and many of them, he gave Brahmanic threading ceremony. First you take Ashraya, then you take first initiation, that is Harinam initiation. Next is the second initiation, Brahmanic thread, or the Gayatri mantra is given. Kalo Shudra Sambhava, in Kali Yuga, everyone is Shudra, but then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati brought in that revolution of giving the Brahmanic thread. And Prabhupada also gave, right? And there were so many questions to Prabhupada, why you're giving the Mlechas and Yavanas and the foreign Western people Brahmanic thread. But Shastra mentions it. If you're qualified, if you're trained under a spiritual master, you have the Brahmanic qualification. Anybody can be awarded the Brahmanic thread. And so here it is said, the Brahmanas, it is the head of the personality of God. So when you divide the Lord's, we are all part and parcel of Lord. Mame Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Buddha Sanatana, right? So the Brahmanas are representing the head part, the brain part of the Lord, because they study the Vedas, Patan, Yachan, Yajan, they take charity, give charity, they study the Shastra and they teach you. So that's a class of Brahmanic class. Kshatriyas are the hands of the Lord because they fight and they take care of the people. Vaishyas are the belly because they do Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijyam. So that's Vaishyas are the bellies of the Lord. And Shudras, the working class, or who helps the other three class, are the legs of the Lord. So based on that means everyone is important. But Prabhupada mentions, without a hand you can live, right? If something happens, a diabetic foot, or you had a crush injury in an accident or something, your hand is cut or your legs are cut, still you can live. But if the head is cut, nobody can live. So except for Daksha and all, where the goat head is given, that's all Krishna's pastimes. But then, yes, if the head is cut, because that's the whole CPU of your system. So that's the Brahmanas. So if Brahmanas are destroyed in the society, then where is the Sanatana Dharma and who are going to teach everyone? So Prabhupada says this Krishna consciousness society is to train Brahmanas to have a society where there are people who are trained in Sanatana Dharma, so that the cult can be spread. Otherwise, just imagine if there's no Brahmanic culture given or Vaishnavas in the society, then who's going to take the Sanatana Dharma? That's why ISKCON is a preaching mission, and Prabhupada wants everyone to come to that level of Brahmana. So here Brahmana is given so much importance. So why we are mentioning this? Because the four Kumaras are the Brahmanas, and they are very pure, and just few they were Brahmavadis. Brahmanas are the Brahmavadis, but a Vaishnava is more elevated than that. And here the Lord himself comes and asks for forgiveness. Okay, and here it is said about the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. I think I've discussed this before also, but it's very important to know. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it discusses the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, or I'm talking about pure devotees. You may not see them in a neophyte, Kanishta Adhikari or Madhyama Adhikari, but you can, whenever you speak of pure devotee, we can always think about Srila Prabhupada. I mean, who else can we compare? We have his history in front of us and his disciples to share how Prabhupada was a perfect pure Vaishnava. And it's not just his life, it proves, even towards the end of his life, how he left his body, even that is important. The art of leaving. Prabhupada taught us how to be a pure devotee, Uttama Adhikari, even when you are leaving, because he was in Vrindavan Dham in the month of Kartik, and devotees around him chanting the holy name, and he himself translating Bhagavatam. So how glorious is, how Prabhupada's consciousness was. So that's very important to know. So many qualities we have. The kripa or the compassion of Prabhupada is uncomparable to anyone, right? So the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava are: he's kind or is compassionate, he's peaceful, that's mean non-envious, he's truthful, he's equal to all, he's faultless, he's magnanimous, he's mild, he's clean, he's non-possessive and well-wisher to all, he's satisfied, he's surrendered to Krishna, and there is no hankering for him, he's simple, and he's fixed on his service, he's self-controlled, he's a balanced eater, he's sane, he's mannerly, he's prideless, he's grave, he's sympathetic, friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. So the 26 qualities mentions in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So out of all these qualities, I think 100% fills for Srila Prabhupada. Every quality in full extent. You won't see, when here it is said, a spot of white leprosy in any part of the body pollutes the whole skin. Or if you have a white cloth and there's a small ink mark, it's completely visible on that cloth, right? So that means the Lord and his servants, pure devotees, are supposed to be representatives of the Lord. So when we are representing ISKCON, we go to preach and everywhere, Srila Prabhupada says, at least try to imbibe these qualities in us. Be clean. Don't go around just being unclean, because people look at you representing a society. And yet achariti sreshta tat evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. So Bhagavad Gita says, whatever the leader do, the common people follow. And if something goes wrong with the common people, definitely the blame comes to the leader. So Krishna is so merciful to his devotees that he is ready to accept the offense done by Jaya Vijaya to please his another devotee, the four Kumaras. So both are his devotees, the four Kumaras and Jaya Vijay. So Lord is not much partial to anyone. So he wants to save both of them. So he came and he asked for forgiveness to the four Kumaras. So the 26 qualities, definitely the four Kumaras, but they had to curse because they were about to curse, and the curse happened. Krishna also wanted the curse to happen. So the curse happened. But curse also happens for a good thing. Chitraketu Maharaj got cursed, became Vritrasur. Then he got delivered. He got moksha. Indradumna Maharaj became Gajendra. He got moksha, right? So Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by Shringi by putting a dead snake over Shamika Muni. And even he could learn Shrimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, got delivered, right? So curse by a devotee, the Nalakuveras, Manigriva and Manikuvera, Nalakuveras, the both of them, and they also got delivered, right? So the curse by a devotee is also a blessing in disguise. So Prabhupada's compassion or kindness is seen how he, at the age of 70, he went abroad, America, risking everything. You all went to Vrindavan Yatra, you would have seen the Radha the temple, Srila Prabhupada's room. Such a nice, beautiful room, and a very nice small room, and the kitchen just opposite to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. Who will leave such a place at the age of 70? I mean, now the devotees are right. They are just after resigning or after retirement, they want to go to Vrindavan Dham and take a small house or something and go in a rent or something and live rest of their life in there. Because might be after 50, it said Vanaprastha. And where will you go here? No Vana forest nowadays. So the Vana Prabhupada meant is Vrindavan. Till then you preach, but then going to Vrindavan in neophyte stage won't help us. We can't become Haridas Thakur, imitate. We can't become Bhajananandis. We should be Koshtanandis, in the sense preaching. Prabhupada says someone preaching outside Vrindavan is more glorious or more benefited than someone living in Vrindavan just doing his devotional service, because the other person is taking risk to preach. So preaching is, so no one should regret that, oh, I'm not able to stay in Vrindavan. No, because when you preach outside Vrindavan, you are doing more service to the Guru Paramparas, and Krishna is more pleased. And wherever you stay is Vrindavan. There you chant the holy name, read Bhagavatam, definitely that's Vrindavan, right? So Prabhupada left that room, that comfort zone. He came out of the comfort zone and just went abroad for what? So compassionate, right? So compassionate and Deena Dayalu. He's so compassionate to the fallen souls that he went abroad to lift them up. So it's very important that how merciful Prabhupada is, definitely. And he's peaceful because he is not comparing anyone with him, or he's not seeing that I'm not everything, whatever I have is all mine. No, he's not envious of anyone. Whatever he has, it's for Krishna's service. And he was truthful. He was following dharma. He never compromised anything when he went abroad. He didn't say them that you don't have to follow the 4 regulative principles, just chant Hare Krishna. No, Prabhupada was very strict. If he sees a boyfriend, girlfriend roaming around, and if they want to get initiated, Prabhupada said, first get married. And he himself conducted the marriage ceremony like a father. And Prabhupada arranged the feast and everything. He's showing by example that how you should be. So he was equal to all. He never discriminated between anyone. He even someone who did a big mistake or crime. If you take the history of ISKCON, so many of them, they have come from jail. Because ISKCON, they do preaching in the jail. They go to the prison house, and that's the time to actually take the soul to Krishna, because they have done some sin, and most of them, they regret. And that's why they are in the prison house. And that time when you preach there, you give Bhagavad Gita, give Prasad, they realize what were they doing till now. And they have so much free time there that if they read, they associate with devotees, and they do hear Harinam, they all get transformed. And many of them, they came from the jail. And Prabhupada was so compassionate to all of them. When someone told Prabhupada, I came from jail. I mean, I was in prison. Prabhupada was like, so what? Krishna was also born in the jail. So Prabhupada never takes it. Anything you do, Prabhupada's like, that's over. That we were in ignorance, so we did that sin. But now, start the new life. But promise me, you will never repeat the sin again. So that's very important. No? We can do mistakes. We commit mistakes. We have 4 defects. We are illusioned. We do commit mistake. We cheat others. No, all that is there. We have defective senses. But when you try to correct ourselves, then it becomes easy. And that's possible with association of devotees. He is faultless. Even if you find any fault with Prabhupada, you think that Prabhupada, some people, they read bits and parts of Prabhupada's lectures, or they hear, or they read the purports, and they misunderstand Prabhupada. Why did Prabhupada say like this in the purport? Prabhupada didn't write it. Krishna wrote it. Prabhupada was just an instrument in Krishna's hands. Definitely, it's Krishna's handwriting, all the books of Prabhupada. You can't, we can't judge a book by the cover. So you just by hearing something about Srila Prabhupada, so many fake things, when you believe he's like that, when we are doing offense, you understand him properly, you'll know there's no fault in him. Whatever Prabhupada have done, even if he chastise someone, then that's for good. Prabhupada always does for good. And he's perfect in everything. He is magnanimous, they're definitely generous, and he forgives anyone who do any mistakes and again come back. But his servant, secretary, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was very strict. He was like, no, you have, Prabhupada, you have to reject that person. Prabhupada's like, no, I can't reject. If I reject, who will give him mercy? And I think the same thing is seen in Prabhupada's disciples also. That mercy thing is there, right? He was mild, non-violent. Prabhupada, yes, the court case was there for the Juhu temple, but he never literally fought. It was just going on the side. But and Prabhupada is like, I promised Radha Ras Bihari a temple and it will come. So when a pure devotee desires something, and if it is a pure desire, that Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, not to please his senses, but for Krishna, definitely Krishna takes care of it. And he's well-wisher to all, right? Sarva Upakara. Like Prabhupada never wants, even if they are the worst sinful people, he delivered. Where is this quality coming from? Nityananda Prabhu delivering Chagai Madai. No? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want to actually punish them, but it was Nitai who actually objected. So Nityananda Prabhu is the Guru Tattva, Adi Guru. All the Guru Paramparas, Acharyas, they represent Nityananda Prabhu. And his mercy is so much that you surrender to the Guru, or you surrender to Nitai, with the Gaur Nitais. Definitely the mercy comes through the Parampara. And Prabhupada is satisfied always. He was like, if this Krishna desires so, let that happen. Right? So always a devotee, a pure devotee of Vaishnava is fully satisfied. Never Prabhupada complained for anything. When the temple construction was going on in Mayapur, Vrindavan, always there is Prabhupada's room. Wherever you go, all over ISKCON, there is something called Prabhupada's room, where Prabhupada used to come literally and stay there and do his translation and everything. So initially, the rooms were not ready. Prabhupada wants the guest house to be done first before construction, but somehow it was not ready. It was so muddy and there were snakes, and especially in Mayapur, there was such a bad situation. Still, Prabhupada was happy sitting there, and Prabhupada stayed in that small room, and Prabhupada never complained. You go to Radha Damodar, you'll never see any poshness. I mean, it's such a simple cot, bed, and a table, a chair for Srila Prabhupada. He's happy. And we'll never see Prabhupada, not being simple. So he's always simple, but he was clean and neat always. Completely surrendered to Krishna. A pure devotee of Vaishnava completely surrenders, in the sense we told the 6 aspects of surrender, right? So Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pradikulyasya Varjanam Rakshishyat Idi Vishwaso Gopi Prete Varanam Tata Atmaniksheba Karpanye Shadvita Sharanakati, the 6 principles of surrender. So that is seen in a pure devotee. Like Anukulyasya Sankalpa, he accepts what is favoring Krishna consciousness. He rejects what is not favoring Krishna consciousness. And Rakshishyat Idi Vishwaso, he's 100% sure that Krishna is going to protect me in any situation of my life. I mean, we are not like that. So once, just a small story of how people ask, how is this Laddu Gopal concept coming from? Krishna with a half Laddu in his hand. You would have seen in Vrindavan so many Bal Gopals with Laddus. So actually there was a devotee who worships Gopal. So the Gopal deity was in his house, and he used to worship of a bhog. So he wanted to go out once, and then he asked his 5-year-old boy to do the offerings. So he told them that the bhog should be offered to Krishna, and when Krishna accepts it, after that you take it as prasad, and don't eat anything except Krishna prasad. So this was the order given to the boy by his father. So boys, I mean, he's just a child, very innocent. He took the whole bhog and gave it to Krishna, offered, did the pranam mantras, put the curtain. After 10 minutes, he opened, the bhog was as it is. He didn't know that Krishna takes the bhava grahi janardana. He sees your bhav. He doesn't eat the stuff just like that. Or he can just with his eyes, he can eat. He can accept it, and he puts his mercy in it. So that becomes prasad. But the boy didn't know this. The boy thought every day when my father offers, Krishna is accepting. And today, because I offered, because I'm not such a nice devotee, Krishna is not offering. He literally started crying. Krishna, please accept. Otherwise, I'll be hungry. I can't eat. Only after you accept, I can eat. Krishna, from there, he said, I accepted already. Take it back. It's prasad already. And he was not believing. So what he did, he took a knife and he was about to cut his throat because he was very innocent and he thought that he did some offense. He was about to cut his throat, and the Lord literally appeared there. And there were so many offerings. Krishna took one of the laddu and started eating. So every day he eats half of the offerings, and the boy was so happy. So when he went back, the mother asked, "What did you do with the offering?" And Krishna ate. Krishna ate. How can that happen? And when the father came back, the mother told this whole story, and the father was like, "Let me check. I think he himself is eating." So in the altar, the father was hiding himself behind the curtain. And when next day the boy offered, the father from behind the curtain watched. And that day also, the Gopal about to appear, and he took the laddu. And when Krishna ate half of the laddu, the father just came out of the curtain because he heard some sound. And Krishna was like stuck there with half laddu in his hand, half in his mouth, and he was just sitting like this. And then he became a statue there because Krishna didn't reveal to the father but to the boy. But here it is said that the boy was so innocent, that pure at heart, that when he took the knife to cut him, Krishna appeared, but not for us. And because when we do something, when we surrender to Krishna, we always have plan A, plan B, plan C. So we have a knife in that throat, and we'll be dialing 108 for the ambulance to come, or we have people to save us. No, that is not the real type of surrender. The surrender means complete faith in Krishna's mercy. Prabhupada was like that when he went to America. Was 100% surrendered to Krishna, that he begged for his mercy, and he wrote the poem in Jalatuta ship that completely surrendered to Krishna. And Prabhupada knew that Krishna will make his life successful. Okay, and no hankering. Prabhupada never hankered against for money or any possessions. Everything was used for Krishna service. Simple. Prabhupada never changed. Even after going to America, he was in his same saffron cloths, same walking stick, same slippers, and same style of food stuff. He was sitting on the floor to take prasad with his hands. And in fact, he taught everyone else to do the same. Right? He never changed. Prabhupada never changed. But his god brothers were completely changed. That's the difference. And fixed. The 26 qualities, one of the qualities is fixed in his service. Whatever obstruction comes in life, the pure devotee takes his devotional service. Self-controlled, we already spoke how Prabhupada managed everything. Balanced eater. Atyahara prayascha prachalpaniya matraha jana sangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhakti vinashyati. Nectar of Instruction says the 6 things that destroy bhakti. One thing is ati ahara. Too much of eating, too much of endeavoring, collecting. So Prabhupada never did that. He was always taking the balanced diet or balanced eater. Sane, he's mannerly, prideless. Even after Prabhupada got 40 crores of balance for the ISKCON and international society started, Prabhupada never was proud of himself. In fact, he was saying, "I'm just a servant. I'm just an instrument." And he used to say, "Whatever success I have, it's because of my guru." And he's grave, sympathetic, definitely to all the disciples. So not only his disciples, Prabhupada's disciple, Dinabandha Prabhu says that Prabhupada is more merciful to his grand disciples. Grandfather is more merciful to the grandchildren. So we are the grand disciples. Definitely, Prabhu says that we get more mercy than his disciples. Definitely, Prabhupada's mercy is flowing. Otherwise, we won't be here sitting in Krishna consciousness. And he's poetic, expert, and silent. So, silent in the sense, not literally not speaking, but a pure devotee speaks only Krishna Katha. Silent in the sense, never talks any mundane topics, only related to Krishna. So these are the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, and we can't copy it. We try to take inspiration from such qualities and try to develop it in us by our devotional service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, any questions? Sorry, Prabhu was a little busy. Suryakanta, Pratik Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, your voice is breaking. What? I can't hear you. Can you put the question in the chat? I'll just take 2 questions. The devotees in the temple are waiting for prasad. I need to close. Yes, Kumud Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Session was really awesome, Mataji. I enjoyed a lot. आपको सिर्फ एक बताना चाहती हूँ, आज चेटी चांद और क्या कहते हैं उसकी ये गुड़ी पड़वे की आज त्योहार है, तो आपको मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाई और खूब शुभकामनाएं. Hare Krishna. धन्यवाद माताजी.
Prabhupada says for devotees, every day is a festival. Every day.
Yes,
Because
yes.
every day is a new day to chant the Lord's holy name. So,
और आज एक संकल्प भी मैं लेना चाहती हूँ कि जाने अनजाने में किसी को भी मेरा दिल दुखा हो तो मैं यहाँ पे सभी को माफी मांग लेती हूँ. अब से ऐसा कोशिश करूंगी कि किसी को अच्छा बुरा ना लगे, ऐसे कोशिश करनी है कि नहीं, मुझसे जितने सभी लोगों की हेल्प हो उतना मैं करना चाहूंगी. आज ही मेरा संकल्प किया है माताजी मैंने. धन्यवाद माताजी.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji. Yes, I've unmuted everyone. I'll just take one question. Suryakant Prabhu, can you put in the chat your question? I could not hear you. You had some network issue. These 26 qualities are also there in Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji said the event of a convict getting into ISKCON. If time permits, I could have shared.
What, getting into ISKCON?
A convict getting into ISKCON.
Oh, a convict. Okay. Wait, Prabhu. I'll just take questions from someone if they have. Anyone have a question? Or I can. Hare Krishna, everyone. So, yes. So, all of you, please keep chanting and read Prabhupada's book. That's the only request. We get everything in Prabhupada's book. Make time and start at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes reading Prabhupada's book every day, hearing Prabhupada's lecture, because that's the mercy coming. You can associate with a pure devotee, and associating with Prabhupada is definitely very glorious. Okay, so please, okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you. I think we can end here. Vancha kalpatarupasya कृपा सिंधु वचा पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. हरे